Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. I'm going to show you today how I create inserts for a traveler's notebook. These are super easy to make. I'm just using pattern paper from the Enchanted Garden collection by Fancy Pants Designs. This one's so pretty, it's double-sided, which is perfect. And then I'm just using normal copy paper. The one I'm using is a little bit heavier. It's, I think, 100 GSM, which is the printer paper I like to use because it's a little bit more high quality, but you can really use anything you want. I've made some in the past with double-sided paper, which is really nice and pretty if you want a lot of decorating, but these ones are really nice because they're just basic notebooks, and I think you can give them to anyone, especially someone who loves traveler's notebooks. And my notebooks will be 8 inches tall by 4 inches wide. So the paper I cut is 8 inches tall. However, the sides are a lot longer than what I need them to be. That's because we're going to trim them off later on with a knife. I'm using this bookbinding tool. This is from Real Memory Keepers. It's super easy to, line your paper on the inside and then punch some holes with any poking tool thing. So you have holes that go through the spine of your notebook, and then I'm going to do some very, very basic sewing. I'm using sewing machine thread. It's super thin. I would normally use a little bit thicker thread, like embroidery thread. But because I only used 5 sheets of paper, 5 or 6 sheets, I don't actually remember because I filmed this a while ago, this notebook is quite thin. So whoever receives this has some space to embellish their pages a little bit without making it overly bulky, because there aren't that many pages in here, and that was my thought behind, using less sheets than usual. And I'm just doing a very, very basic stitch. I don't even know what this stitch is called. It's like a super simple one. I go all the way up and then I go all the way down on the opposite holes. So I have thread on both sides going through every single hole, if that makes any sense. I'm so sorry. There are much better tutorials out there, but this is just how I do it. I'm not a pro at this, but as you can see, it's super easy to do. And once I'm back down with the thread, I'm just going to tie a very simple knot, trim off the extra thread, and then the actual notebook assembly is done. I am going to embellish it a little bit. But before we do anything, I'm going to use my bone folder just to fold down its spine properly. And then I'm using my background, which is actually cutting mat, or this cutting mat. It's a really old one. I'm using it to measure 4 inches from the spine, and then I'm going to use this knife just to go through all of the sheets of paper and pattern paper to trim it off. And I'm doing it very carefully, like I'm not using a lot of pressure. I think I'm cutting 1 sheet at a time just to make sure I get a really clean cut. And because my ruler was very short, I had to do the bottom half separately. But I think that's totally fine. If you have a large ruler, you can do everything in one go, but this is just what I had on hand. There we go. And that's the notebook or the insert done. Isn't that so cute? And then I'm going to quickly go off camera and do some sewing on the front panel or the front cover of our notebook. I just like the added gold metallic thread on the front cover and love the texture. It's totally optional, you don't have to do it, but I just really like doing it. And then I'm going through the embellishments, and I love these flower clusters. I think they are beautiful and so autumnal. And I'm just doing a very, very simple little cluster at the front. I'm going to use some of these foam stickers that are also part of the collection. By the way, if you want to save 10% of your order at Fancy Pants Designs, make sure you check out my description box for a coupon code. So I'm using liquid glue to stick down these embellishments so they're pretty flat. So when you use the notebook, you won't have that much bulk at the front page to like, you know, disturb your whatever you're doing in your notebook. There is a little bit of bulk from the foam stickers, but I think that's totally fine. They're not two-dimensional. I'm going to use a little bit of gold thread just because I just love how it looks. Simple. And going to stick that down, I think, with liquid glue. It's been a while since I filmed this, as I mentioned before. Only just getting this voiceover done. Make sure you cover all of those pieces of thread that are behind your image with glue so it doesn't fall apart. And then to finish that off, I'm just adding a little word on the top. And some enamel dots, of course. I have to add enamel dots. These are also part of the collection. So pretty, such a cute autumn collection. Perfect for this time of the year. Doesn't that look cute? Here's the other one I made earlier. Hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you soon.